Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kevin Garnett, Gary Payton. You always hear stories of these guys embarrassing other players with their trash talk. But others aren't so lucky. When you trash talk, you gotta back it up. But only the greatest players can do that. So let's look at some of the worst trash talking fails in NBA history. Be sure to subscribe. I'm dropping NBA content multiple times a week, and I'm really excited about some of the new stuff I have prepared for y'all, and trust me, you are not gonna wanna miss it. Spoiler alerts, I am working on a video that is over an hour long. So if you want to see that, just click that little red button. It really is that easy. Alright, let's hop into these stories. Number 6, Chris Bosh's family vs LeBron. Here's rule number 1 of trash talking in basketball. If you don't play basketball, don't talk smack, especially against LeBron freaking James. Chris Bosh's cousin and girlfriend had to learn this the hard way. On January 6, 2008, LeBron met Chris Bosh and the Toronto Raptors. And as you can see in this footage, LeBron started this game off airballing shots and even missed a wide open dunk. By halftime, he had only 9 points. But then Bosh's family started screaming out to him. It seems like all fun and games, and LeBron is even smiling at their trash talk. Until the fourth quarter, that is. James would chalk up 24 points, 4 3-pointers, and 3 assists in the fourth alone. But then, at the very end of the game, in a desperate attempt for a comeback, Bosh's girl screams out, "You're not as fine as my man though," and LeBron finally stops smiling, turns to her, and says, "This is all your fault." He ended the game with 39 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. A quick reminder that this girl was dating Chris Bosh, a literal living dinosaur. I'm pretty sure that just about everybody is finer than her man. But anyways, LeBron then gives his post-game interview, and Bosh's family gets a little shout out.
I see you had a few heckling fans down there.
Yeah, they're the reason why the Raptors lost tonight, because they ticked me off a little bit.
Number 5, Derek Martin versus Michael Jordan. Rule number 2 of trash talking in basketball. Avoid Michael Jordan at all costs. Make sure he likes you, because if he doesn't, he will kill you. And Derek Martin was just another one of his poor, innocent victims. With 8 minutes left in a game between the Bulls and Grizzlies in 1995, Vancouver found themselves somehow up by 6. With Derek Martin at the line, Jordan checks in, and Martin says to him, quote, "I told you we were gonna beat you tonight." Martin was a 5'11" point guard averaging 7 points per game. I don't know where he got the confidence to say this, but he'd regret it. Jordan responded with, quote, "Little man, I told you not to trash talk me." And then he scored 19 points in the last 6 minutes of the game. The Grizzlies were so infuriated at Martin's stupidity that they traded him just 2 weeks later. Number 4, Shaquille O'Neal versus Yao Ming. Now, quick disclaimer, Shaq is gonna say some pretty offensive stuff here, so just be prepared and know that I don't condone anything he's about to say. In 2002, a rookie Yao Ming was drafted first overall and took the NBA by storm. Being one of the first Chinese NBA players ever, he pretty much had an entire country on his side, and he quickly became the NBA's most loved star. But some people weren't buying the hype, and Shaq was one of them. When asked about the rookie, he said this.
Wang Zhu, whatever your name is, you want some of Shaq food? Come get it. I'll be waiting for you.
Yeah, not great, but it gets worse. When someone asked him about if he had anything to say to Yao, he said, quote, "Tell Yao Ming I said Ching Chong Yawa Ah So." Times have really changed, haven't they? On January 17th, 2003, the big night where the two would finally meet up and squash the beef finally came. Shaq was as loud and as animated as usual, but Yao barely spoke English at the time and was trying desperately to adjust to the culture. He was quiet and awkward and didn't look Shaq in the eyes, but his performance on the court did all the talking for him. On the first possession of the game, Yao scored a hook shot over Shaq, and the Houston crowd absolutely exploded.
Yao, first touch.
He then blocked Shaq's first 3 shot attempts and got 4 more points on Shaq in the first quarter. He ended the game with 10 points, 10 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 3 assists. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, but the start of it felt like something straight out of a movie script, and this game definitely shut Shaq up. He never spoke badly of Yao ever again. Number 3, Larry Bird vs Michael Jordan. Now this one is weird. You usually don't see two guys who are equally perfect at trash talk each other, but in 1984 it happened, and a rookie Michael Jordan actually won. That year, a scrimmage was set up between the 1984 draft class and the NBA's best players. And in the warm-ups of that game, Jordan accidentally bounced his ball onto the side of the NBA guys. Larry Bird, who was the MVP at the time, picked up his ball, looked past Jordan, and purposely threw the ball way over his head. Jordan had to sprint after the ball with everybody watching just to keep warming up. It was embarrassing. But in the game itself, not only did Jordan's underdog team full of college players beat Larry Bird, but MJ was killing him and led both teams in scoring with 25 points. As we all know, Jordan would then go on to form a pretty big rivalry with the Celtics early into his career, but Bird usually kept his mouth shut in these games. He even once said, quote, "That was God disguised as Michael Jordan. The man he had once written off was now better than him, and there was nothing he could do but respect it." Number 2, Spike Lee versus Reggie Miller. As we learned with Chris Bosh's family, it's never a good idea to trash talk someone in basketball when you don't play basketball. But famous director Spike Lee didn't care. In Game 5 of the 1994 conference finals, Spike began talking trash to Reggie Miller, who was having a pretty bad game. He only had 15 points with 12 minutes left, but then he started catching fire, and somehow he ended the game with 39 points. With every shot he made, he stared and cursed right at Spike. After one shot, he even turned around and threw up the choke sign at him. Just look at poor Spike Lee. He looks like a sad dog that knows that they've really messed up big time. Honestly, you almost feel bad for him, even though this is all his fault. In an interview after the game, Reggie was asked about Spike Lee, and he responded with, quote, "Spike who?" Number 6, John Starks vs Michael Jordan. Yup, another embarrassing story involving the Knicks. Look, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm hurting over this just as much as some of y'all. And as a Knicks fan, I gotta say it. John Starks, learn to know when to keep your mouth shut, dude. In Game 3 of the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals, Starks actually locked up Jordan. That game, Jordan shot only 16% from the field, but Starks still wasn't happy. In the fourth quarter, just to get under Jordan's skin, he literally just smacked him in the face. As you can see in the footage, the two then get in a little fight. Patrick Ewing tries desperately to split it up, and it looks like he's almost begging Starks not to piss off Jordan. And then Starks says something that gets Jordan angrier than I've ever seen him before. Look at this, his eyes have some sort of fire in them. He looks like he wants to kill this man. After the game, both Jordan and Starks refused to reveal what had been said that made MJ go off like that. Then, in the very next game, Jordan had 54 points on John Starks' head. He shot 60% from the field, made 6 3-pointers, grabbed 6 rebounds, and somehow only had 2 turnovers. It's one of the greatest games in NBA history. Chicago won the game by 10 and then turned around and beat New York 2 more times in a row to win the series. New York had started this series with a 2-0 lead, and then for the rest of the series, they didn't even win a single game. Whatever Starks might have said to Jordan really messed things up for the Knicks. And there it is, 6 times trash talking brutally backfired. I guess the moral of this story is when you're defending an all-time great, just sit back and do your best. Nobody needs to hear you talk smack. Honestly, you're just hurting your own team. And that is where we are going to conclude today's video. Which one was your favorite story? Do you have an example of something like this happening that I forgot to put on the list? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment and I want to build a community over there, so let's get the conversation started. Again, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. As a small YouTuber, I truly do appreciate each and every one of my subscribers, and I do have some really big videos coming out in the future that I genuinely think y'all wouldn't want to miss out on. You can take my word on that. And with that, stay safe out there.